Welcome back to Missouri Mayhem, Mystery and Murder. I'm Megan, and I am solo on this bonus episode today. And I appreciate all of you being with me. If it's a new listener out there, welcome to Missouri Mayhem. If you've been with us, welcome back. And as always, we appreciate you. So, we're going to bring you, or I'm going to bring you, a little lighter content on this beautiful, amazing day. And we're going to be putting murder on pause. And I'm going to be diving into something just as unbelievable, you guys. It's the strange and sometimes confusing and needless laws of our wonderful show me state, Missouri. And some of these laws are crazy. From milk cartons to mules, from footloose towns to felonious laundry, we're unpacking the weirdest, funniest, and most head scratching laws ever written in the show me state today. Also, don't forget, if you like what you're listening to and you have liked and enjoyed being part of our Missouri Mayhem crew, please follow, subscribe, and give us a quick review. We would appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Are we ready to get into this crazy episode of Missouri laws? Grab your coffee, your Coke, your water, whatever you're doing, maybe your lawyer, and buckle up because we're about to enter the land of legislative lunacy. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Chapter 1. How to become a criminal in a Missouri small town without even trying. Now, of course, we are not proponents here at Missouri Mayhem of crime, but let me tell you how you may be actually a criminal and not even know it. We're going to begin with one of the most well-known, goofy, crazy laws out there. And this comes from a small town in Missouri called Purdy. That's right, Purdy, and not Pretty. It's Purdy, Purdy. Population just under 1,100 people. And can you guess what this law from this tiny little town might be? Hint, there's a movie about it from a lot of our childhood. Everybody cut, everybody cut, everybody cut, everybody cut. That's right, Footloose. More flannel, fewer neon lights, and this ban in Purdy, Missouri started in 1919 when local church leaders decided that dancing could possibly lead to moral corruption. That's right. After almost 70 years of this crazy law, students finally fought back in 1987, arguing that this ban on dancing violated their First Amendment rights. Go kids. The ACLU even joined in, and the case, Clayton versus Place, made it all the way to the federal court. These kids literally had to sue for their right to boogie down. Kevin Bacon, you would be very proud. Okay, that's a crazy law. The court actually sided with the school, saying there's no constitutional right to dance. We don't have a right to dance? But a few years later, the town came around and the first dance in decades was finally held in their school gym. They said kids showed up wearing their Sunday best and that chaperones outnumbered the dancers 2-1, but at least they finally got to cut loose responsibly. So yeah, sounds like that movie was based on Purdy, Missouri. So that's our first law. Okay, the right to dance. We all have the right to dance. Law number 2. Meanwhile, in Colombia, where you can dance legally, you're not supposed to hang clothes on a clothesline, but it's perfectly fine to hang them on a fence post. Heaven forbid your laundry flaps in the breeze without municipal approval. It's true, the rule was originally a neighborhood beautification ordinance. Apparently, nothing says classy like your jeans drying on a barbed wire fence. I mean, very rustic. Okay, so don't know what that law is all about, but there it is. Number 3. Now, I can kind of understand this law. In Jefferson City, the city limits your yard sales. You can have no more than 2 yard sales per year, and they can't last longer than 3 days. So that explains why every Missourian, including myself, have about 50 Rubbermaid totes, either in their basements or, like me, in a couple storage units. And if you didn't have a limit on yard sales, I mean, some people would potentially just have permanent sales set up in their yard year round. So I kind of get that one. Okay, fairly reasonable. This next law is hilarious. Missouri has what's been called, I love this, thank you for being a friend. I'm a terrible singer, but you get what I'm saying. The Golden Girls Law Any idea what I might be talking about? Well, according to the Golden Girls law in Missouri, it's illegal for four or more unrelated women to live together. So, Blanche, Dorothy, Rose, and Sophia, yeah, you're outlaws, Golden Girls. Now, this law was meant to restrict brothels in the 1800s, but it accidentally then now started criminalizing college roommates and retirement roommates too. So, I mean, come on. Like, really, what is our criminal intent there? The four women living together, sharing groceries, splitting utilities? Come on. But yeah, crazy law. Speaking of food and groceries, let's get into chapter 2 here. Burgers, booze, and bizarre Missouri laws. And this is where it gets, let's say, deliciously dumb. Okay? Here we go. In St. Louis, it's illegal to eat ice cream from your back pocket. And not just your back pocket, also illegal to eat ice cream from a backpack. So that means, let's say you need your emotional support pint of chocolate, marshmallow, ice cream, whatever your flavor is, and I want to put it in my back pocket and take it to the park. I mean, come on. Don't do it unless you want to be fined. This law actually comes from old horse thieving days. People used to lure horses away by putting ice cream or sugar cubes in their pockets. So the law was meant to stop sneaky horse thefts, which I'm not sure there's too many of those nowadays, but who knows? And yeah, again, crazy law, crazy law. Now, pretty much speaking of sweet, Missouri once had a single man tax. From 1821 to 1872, every unmarried man between 21 and 50 had to pay $1 annual tax. So $1 was the price, for the life of a bachelor. Okay, now the goal here was to encourage marriage and stable families in the 1800s. I mean, the usual polite 19th century social pressure with some paperwork. Basically, think Tinder and online dating sites, but with a tax form and $1 platform fee. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, this one is kind of crazy, stupid, and a little sensibility all in one. Okay, this next law. In St. Louis, it's technically illegal for on duty firefighters to rescue a woman wearing only a nightgown. So, yeah, wait. So, your house is on fire. Stop, get dressed, and then call 911. The rule was a decency clause written when women's nightclothes were considered scandalous. So, modesty before safety. And ma'am, please locate your bloomers before I break down your door. So you get the idea. Another crazy law. All right, on to chapter 3. Saints, sinners, and show me state statutes. Let's talk a little bit about Missouri's blue laws. Wonder if you've ever heard about these. The blue laws were basically designed to make sure people had the least amount of fun possible on Sundays. These blue laws date back to the 1800s and banned shopping, drinking, and even baseball games on Sundays. Listen to this. In 1919, a Springfield baseball team was fined for playing a game on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, that seems very, not patriotic to me. I mean, baseball, America's pastime. And restaurants also could not serve alcohol on Sundays until the late 1960s, which means for decades, brunch, mimosas on Sunday? No, that's an underground operation. You got to have a password to get in. So no mimosas, no shopping, and no baseball. Missouri, you really said stay home and think about your sins on Sundays. Now, okay, the case of State versus Katz Drug Company, KATZ. Very popular drug company around Missouri in the 50s and 60s. In 1959, they finally helped dismantle these blue laws. But even into the 1990s, some counties still enforce Sunday restrictions, like no buying alcohol. And that may even still be the case now. I'm not sure. But imagine explaining to a millennial, no Target, no tacos, and no tequila. It's Sunday. All right, on to our next one. Here we go. Chapter 4, How Fear Can Quickly Become Policies. So why did Missouri have such a flair for moral micromanagement? putting all these laws into place. And actually, most of these laws that they put into place in the 1800s, early 1900s came from fear, panic of the unknown, or one crazy person making a bad decision. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, many local laws reflected religious influence and an attempt to keep order in fast growing towns. So lawmakers were very, very afraid of moral decay in their towns. So they pretty much outlawed everything from dancing to improper attire to drinking on Sundays. And again, we're kind of talking about here small town panic meets control and power trips. Here's the kicker: most of these old laws were put into place and then never repealed. So they just sit there decade after decade, waiting for someone to rediscover them. So technically, any day now, you could be arrested for laundry related crimes. Watch out, everybody. All right, let's wrap up this short bonus fun episode with some listener input. We asked our listeners to share the strangest Missouri laws they'd ever heard, and you delivered, okay? Sam from Springfield wrote that it's illegal to worry a squirrel in some parts in Missouri. I mean, what does that mean? How do you emotionally distress a squirrel? The original ordinance was meant to prevent people from chasing wildlife in city parks, so no squirrel harassment. Okay. Jessica in Joplin said it's illegal to tie your giraffe to a telephone pole in St. Louis. I mean, classic problem. I see lots of giraffes in Missouri. Apparently, this law came from early 1900s traveling circuses that parked downtown, and I guess giraffes were a problem. That's crazy. Okay. And we have Stephanie from Moberly. She said her grandma still remembers not being allowed to swim or hang laundry on Sundays. Again, more of those leftover flu laws. And Missouri is the gift that just keeps on legislating. I mean, from footloose bans to laundry shenanigans, these laws remind us that sometimes laws, even small laws, need to change and be repealed. Because again, a lot of these are still on the books, which is crazy to me. All right, you guys. Hope you've enjoyed this crazy episode. It's been short and sweet. We appreciate all of you out there. And if you have a case, have a fun story, a mystery, a mayhem, please reach out to us. We appreciate every one of you out there. We hope you're enjoying our episodes. And yeah, hope you're having a great day, guys. Thank you for listening to Missouri Mayhem, Mystery and Murder. I'm Megan. Stay safe, stay curious, and stay kind. Peace out.